Welcome to Pokhara, Nepal's tourism capital supposedly, and sitting beneath the Annapurna range. I'm here for about 5 days and I have a load of things lined up. Hot air ballooning, maybe paragliding, caves, temples, stupas, zip lines, maybe a bungee. But today I've taken a boat and I'm going up to the World Peace Pagoda. Then I'm going to go a bit further up to the tallest Shiva statue in Nepal, and then I'm going to see some waterfalls, and then tomorrow caves, and then all of the rest of the stuff. I'm quite interested to see whether Pokhara lives up to its reputation. Most people that seem to come here love it. It's different from Kathmandu. Kathmandu is crazy, dusty, noisy. Pokhara is still a little bit noisy, but you have this sort of serenity of the lake, and there's seemingly a lot of domestic tourism, which is awesome. So Pokhara is about 250 kilometers, or a very bumpy 10-hour drive west of Kathmandu. The majority of Pokhara is centered around Lake Phewa, or Phewa, which is a big lake next to the Annapurna range, but there's multiple lakes in the region. It's winter time, so the mornings are sort of foggy, misty, but it's very peaceful on the boat. So better get rowing. It's about 25 minutes across the lake. There is a temple, the Tal Barahi temple, in the middle on an island, supposedly the most important religious site in Pokhara, but there's loads of people there, so I went round it, but I decided to give it a miss. And then it's 45 minutes up to the World Peace Pagoda, maybe another half an hour to the Shiva statue, and then I think about an hour to Devi's Falls, or Devil's Falls. What the fuck is going on with this thing? I'll be covering everything like costs and how long things take and how to get there throughout all the videos. But in terms of the boat, it costs 800 rupees one way, 1200 rupees on the way if you want to return. If you want to row yourself, which is what I've done, it costs 1400 rupees to hire the boat for the whole day, which is pretty good, although I cannot figure out how to keep this thing going in a straight line. So I think today is going to be a relatively cheap day because you're not paying for, you know, a guide for rafting, or you're not paying the pretty high prices for the more adventure sports stuff, and it's really easy. There's loads of boat hire companies. You just walk down to the shore and you hire a boat. Most people stay in an area called Lakeside, which is on the sort of southeastern point of Lake Pokhara. It's a pretty nice area. There's loads of agents and restaurants, and so getting around's easy, and you can organise all of your trips from Lakeside. In fact, organising trips in Nepal is incredibly simple. There's so many sort of travel agents that you don't need to worry about booking things in advance. Right, let's get there. Arrived. Apparently you just leave your paddles and life jacket at the restaurant, then start the hike. I guess I have to lock it up somehow. No sé. Let's begin. Up, up, up. The other thing I forgot to mention was that Pokhara is the sort of kick-off point for a lot of treks, including the famous Annapurna circuit, which I think is over there. You have Annapurna 1, 2, and then in the distance you have the Fishtail Mountain. I'm not going to try and pronounce the real name. But yeah, it's a popular spot. It's a very popular spot. It almost feels like the sort of adventure playground of Nepal, because you have 3 different bungee jumping spots. You have whitewater rafting, ultralighting, paragliding, lots and lots of stuff. I managed to put my rucksack down in the dirt, and now I've got dirt all over me. Great start to the day. The hike itself is not strenuous. I just wish I'd worn a t-shirt and maybe shorts, because there's no breeze at all. So I'm sweating. I guess I'm going to have to show you pictures and then comment on it later. Maybe get a little sneak peek. Very peaceful in there. It was built in the 70s by a guy called Niponzan Myoji. I think he's a Japanese Buddhist monk, and it's one of 8 World Peace Pagodas in the world. I think it's 115 feet high, and reportedly cost $1 million to build, which is a lot. The views are great of the Annapurna Range and Lake Pokhara in the city, and it's just silent. Obviously they have silence signs everywhere. And it's yeah, it's a nice place to go. From Sri Lanka, I think that when you walk around a stupa, you're supposed to walk clockwise. And if you're going to take photos in front of the Buddha, you should always make sure that your back isn't turned to the Buddha, apparently. So that's a nice excursion, and now it's you can see the statue of the Lord Shiva from this hill. It's just over there. I think it's probably 20 minutes, half an hour. I'll walk over there and see the tallest statue of the Lord Shiva in Nepal. And the World Peace Pagoda, also known as the Shanti Stupa, is free to get in. There's a donation box, so if you have any change or want to donate, then that's your choice. Yeah, I think whilst you're up here, you might as well go to the statue of the Lord Shiva and also to the waterfalls. So it's been a nice start to the morning thus far. There it is, up there. I think I might have been ambitious with 20 or 30 minutes. I think it's more like 45 minutes to an hour from the World Peace Pagoda. But it looks very cool. I don't know if you can see that, but if you like scenery, Nepal has you covered. Everywhere you look is just incredibly beautiful. Nearly there. Ooh, it's starting to heat up. I even watched a video last night where this girl complained that she was wearing too many clothes. She had like a long sleeve on. And what have I done? Long sleeve, thick trousers. I'm paying the price. You can drive up here. So there is the option to, instead of rowing across the lake, you just get a taxi to close to the Peace Pagoda, and then you can drive up here, and then you can drive to the waterfalls instead of becoming a sweaty mess like me. But I like the walk. Gives you lots of views. I've got nothing else to do. Well, I thought the views were good from the World Peace Pagoda, but they're even better from here. It's just there. Let's go and see what this is all about. I'm not so au fait with Hinduism. Is Shiva the lord of the gods? Or is it Ganesh? Or are they all equal? Shiva seems to come up a lot in terms of things that are representing Shiva. I think there's a stalagmite in one of the caves that is representative of Shiva.
I don't know, there's no bundar.
You can also see the Annapurna cable car from here, which is over there. And well, it's Sarankot, so I'll be going there for sunrise and then ziplining the other side of the hill. The problem is that the last few days have been very, very cloudy and misty in the morning. Today is much, much better. It's sort of at the will of the weather, unfortunately. And that also goes for hot air ballooning, paragliding, all of that. Oh, I wonder what the symbolism of that snake is. Let's see if we can find some information around here or online. Okay, so apparently Shiva is also known as Ganeshwar, which is king of the snakes, although the internet was very unhelpful as to why the code was there. Some say it's immortality because snakes shed their skins, some say it's around his neck to kill the ego, some say it's because he drank some snake poison. I don't know. It's interesting nonetheless. There's also a statue of, I think it's Ganesh, circling the largest statue of Shiva. It's quite cool. It's a really cool statue actually, and an incredible viewpoint. There's no information. There's no like visitor centre, presumably because most of the people that go there know what they're talking about. They're not just tourists like me. I don't know what the viewpoint from Sarankot's like, but this is really good. And now I have to make my way down to Peace Pagoda and then further down to Devi's Falls. I think it's going to take about an hour and 20 minutes walking, so if I spot a taxi, I'm probably going to get it. Save myself some time. Oh, and entry's free, again with donation boxes. I guess that's useful for people to know. Typical roads in Nepal.
Amazing road.
Right, that was well worth it. It was actually quite a steep and long walk, so I paid 900 for a taxi. Some guy was trying to charge me 1,500, which seemed a bit steep. But yeah, get a taxi. I've actually got a bit of a problem because now I need to go back up in order to go down to get my boat. So it might be worth doing the stupa and the Shiva statue and then taking the boat back, or just getting a boat one way, because now I have to pay to go back up instead of just coming round the lake from here. So I'm going to see Devi's Falls and then I'm actually going to go to a cave, but that will be a separate video because I'm going to visit 3 caves. But yeah, let's see what Devi's Falls has to say. 100 rupees to get in. That is, I don't even know how much. 60p? It's pretty good value. Right, where are these falls? I think they're actually part of the cave system that's just across the road, but I don't know if you can see the falls from the cave. It's actually quite deep. Is this a good viewpoint? I don't know. No, the viewpoint's better from the other side. It's a cool waterfall, but the frustrating thing is that no matter where you stand along the railing, you can't quite see down. I don't know how they would solve that, but you can't see the bottom of the cavern, which is really frustrating actually. It's called Devi's Falls because a Canadian couple went swimming there and one of them drowned. But the Nepalese name for it means Underworld's Waterfall, which is quite a cool name. I imagine in the summer with the meltwater that the waterfall is way, way bigger. It's probably at its smallest at the moment. Right, as I said, I think I made a mistake. I should have gone straight back to the boat. So I'll do that. Next video will be about the caves. I'm going to visit the cave across the road from here, which I'm looking forward to because it connects with the waterfall. Then Mahendra Cave and a cave full of bats. I don't think I've ever actually been in a cave, so quite looking forward to that, but cut to the boat. I definitely think I made a mistake there. Your 2 options, in my opinion, are to get a boat, a return boat, and just do the Peace Pagoda and the Shiva statue. Or your better option is to get a boat one way, yeah, do the World Peace Pagoda, do Shiva statue, then get a taxi down to Devi's Falls and the cave, and then get a taxi to Lakeside for lunch. I think you'll probably pay in the region of 1,500 rupees for the 2 taxis, which is a lot more than the 200 rupees you'll pay to visit in total 4 different places. Even if you do all 4, or you just do the stupa and the Shiva statue, you'll be back in time for lunch. It'll take you between probably 2.5 and 4 hours. So a nice morning, I'd say. A very nice morning. Next up is caves. Although I've already done one of the caves. There's 3 caves in Pokhara, or 3 main caves. 1 on this side, and then 2 on that side. And so that's why I would do the one-way boat trip and then go back round, because if you go back round and you do Devi's Falls and the cave, then you've pretty much done everything on this side of the lake. And then you get to explore that side of the lake. Anyway, hope that helps.